AIME is here to serve you another wonderful dish with, this time, two incredible, wonderful human beings who have been nothing but helpful to this association. We are making today breakfast charcuterie with Steph Christianson and Kim Clancy, loan officer extraordinaires, ready to help guide you in the right direction. Ladies, how are we doing today?
Great, how are you?
Good, thank you for having me in this home today.
Yeah.
All right, so breakfast charcuterie, but before we get started into here, I'm putting this together today, is that correct?
Yes, sir. So you can go home and treat your wife.
Yes.
Babe, I miss you. I'm coming in. I'll make sure this is done for you. Okay?
You can thank us later.
Yeah. Can you please tell us your story? Like, everybody sees you all together. You talk about everything together. You're always at the right spots. How did y'all get started?
So we met through AIME. Well, now we're like, we call each other wife, you know what I mean? Because we're like, this is our work wife, right? We plan all of our stuff together. Wherever we travel, we're always sharing rooms. We always fly together, all that kind of stuff.
It's the community, totally the community, because sure, we have our down days and there are days where we need each other just to like totally vent and like, what is happening? What are we gonna do next? Because this ain't it. And then we regroup and pull up our big girl pants, and then we motivate each other back up again. And we see what's going on around us. And as we're building our own companies, our own teams, we know we have a responsibility too.
With social media, how are you putting yourself in a position to where you're not playing victim? You're not thinking about what's being posted. You're like, okay, this is like, at the end of the day, it's on me.
Well, early in my career, we didn't have social media.
Yeah.
So it was a lot easier when we didn't. Yeah. I don't even know if MySpace was out. I don't even have any idea. We're not perfect, right? Steph and I will call each other and be like, oh my God, did you see what this person posted? You know, you still have to have that one person that you're like, oh my gosh, like, did somebody just say that? But
that's like the vent session.
Yeah, and then like you just move on from it. You just don't allow it to be who you are and affect you. It's, you know, as you get older, and I do think it does come with age, you really just get to a point where you know that people's actions are their actions. It has nothing to do with you.
All of a sudden you realize that
Yeah.
other people's shit is their
theirs.
thing. They may be projecting it onto you, but it's not about you.
It's never about me.
AIME is here to serve you another wonderful dish with, this time, two incredible, wonderful human beings who have been nothing but helpful to this association and constantly pushing the broker community forward. We are making today breakfast charcuterie with Steph Christianson and Kim Clancy, loan officer extraordinaires, ready to help guide you in the right direction. Ladies, how are we doing today?
Great, how are you?
Good, thank you for having me in this home today. It is always like the coolest thing, and thank you for the mimosa earlier. We took it off screen because we're not sponsored by anybody yet, but if you'd like to sponsor us on the mimosa side of things, we'd love to take you up on it. All right, so breakfast charcuterie, but before we get into it, can you please tell us your story? Like, everybody sees you all together, you talk about everything together, you're always at the right spots together. Well, it's good to have that communication, right? It's good to have that person in your corner, but where did y'all meet? How did y'all get started?
So we met through AIME, actually, like really, right?
100%, yes.
Where did we meet? I mean, it was literally through AIME.
Oh, I know. When they started the state captain.
Oh, the state captain, right,
They
that's
did
right.
community, they did advocacy, she did community, I did advocacy.
And that's how. Yeah.
So is that, now how have you guys developed and grown that relationship?
Well, now we're like, we call each other wife, you know what I mean? Because we're like, this is our work wife, right? We plan all of our stuff together. Wherever we travel, we're always sharing rooms. We always fly together, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're doing now. And then we still are keeping the community, you know, keeping the community aspect. We try to do events and calls and nonprofit things, so we're still just doing it.
So y'all have been in the industry and you've seen this journey. You've seen things grow. You've seen things probably not grow in the right direction. And the thing about the two of you that I always notice is like that excitement's still there, right? The energy's still there. The smiles are still there. How do you keep that going, being in commission sales, right? Starting at zero every month. I think that's a big issue for a lot of salespeople. What do y'all focus on? Is it a mindset thing? Is it conversations? How do you plan for that?
It's the community, totally the community, because sure, we have our down days and there are days where we need each other just to like totally vent and like, what is happening? What are we going to do next? Because this ain't it. And then we regroup and pull up our big girl pants, and then we motivate each other back up again. And we see what's going on around us. And as we're building our own companies, our own teams, we know we have a responsibility too. So,
Yeah.
yep.
And I think we enjoy doing it. So that is always easier.
Mostly.
Not all the time, right? Sometimes we're like, what in the world? But I do think I think too, like in our community, we share a lot of our stuff. So it's like we're rolling out Notion, and it's like Steph does this part, her daughter does this part. I just take it, that kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean?
love
But
it.
like we really just all work together.
So I love that. And before we get started into here, I'm putting this together today, is that correct?
Yes, sir. So you can go home and treat your wife to your
Yes.
Babe, I miss you. I'm coming in. I'll make sure this is done for you. Okay?
You can thank us later.
Yeah. So where do we start?
Well, I'm going to show you a couple of ideas for inspiration.
Okay.
And then you decide.
Oh my! It's a whole book.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just going to show you one.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to show you the breakfast one.
Well, and we thought of this because Steph and I are both empty nesters and we're both single ladies.
Okay.
And we were like, well, I don't know that we spend a whole lot of time in the kitchen,
Okay.
but we definitely spend a whole lot of time with charcuterie.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we were like, all right, well, Jonathan's going to learn.
Wine and snacks.
Wine and snacks is our way.
So this is our choices today?
Yes.
Well, just inspiration.
Inspiration.
Okay.
So we have muffins in terms of pastries. We have things to make little bagels if you want to wrap a sandwich. And then we have the cheeses and the fruit.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, you just create your own. So this is just you, right? So we have, if you want, okay, so like we have some hard-boiled eggs, right? So see how like
Oh yeah.
this one has,
I'm just building it.
yes,
I
you're
get to
building it.
get Rami. Allow me to get creative here. All right. Okay. So this is perfect.
What kind of things do you like to eat?
Right now what I'm doing is just kind of mapping it out in my head.
Okay.
I'm watching where all the fruit is right now. I'm a very visual
Yes.
human being. So that's what I see. All right. I have an idea. I think I know the direction I'm going to go. Do we have, what is that?
Yogurt.
Yogurt?
We have cream cheese.
Oh, that's cream cheese.
We have
yes.
cream cheeses?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, I can't wait to see what you're going to do.
I mean, we're going to do our best here, whatever we can. When it comes to being creative in the space and learning and understanding and growing, I think part of it is adapting constantly, especially as loan officers, especially when you're talking to real estate agents that are adapting and they're changing all the time as well. How do you sit down, look at your business and realize it's time to reassess? And has there ever been a point in your career where you might have held on to something way too long and realized that you probably should have, backtracked or done something different a little bit sooner?
Every time.
Yeah. I was going to say every single time.
But I think like the mortgage morning calls have been a great resource.
Yes.
Like,
That's awesome.
We love them.
That's
we
awesome.
love them.
Julie Arbor is awesome.
Shout out to Julie. We love
Yes,
you.
we love her. Yes. She is. So we love her.
Sassy
We
pants.
love her.
But we're learning what other people are doing, and it's a lot of shiny objects. Like, ooh, we should do that. Ooh, no, we should do that. And so, like, when we went to Scottsdale in December, we tried to just sit down and like, okay, let's buckle down. What are the things that we need to like grow into and change? But yes, it is hard to.
And I think having an open mind, right? Like, I mean, it's really easy. I've been doing this for 24 years. It's really easy for me to think that I know the way, but I don't know the way because the way is always changing. We're in an environment 24 years ago. We took paper applications, you know what I mean? And we faxed, we faxed things. And we were like, wow, this is a fax machine, And so now it's like, you need to be able to communicate with Gen Z because they're buying homes.
Their
And
next
so
stop. That's really cool.
you better get smart on the text messaging abbreviations because you're going to need to know them.
Think about that for a second. There's so many people I speak to and they're I don't want to use the word set in your ways, right? But it's like, they'll say things like, this doesn't work, or I'm not sure this is going to pan out, or no, I've been doing it this way for so long. And yet you have two human beings here that have been on this journey, understanding cycles, understanding the market, who are literally saying, yeah, no, we adapt to what's coming in next. Like, yes, we have our people right now. Yes, we're going to take care of them, but it's what's coming next that you have to constantly think about. So, two of you, how on earth did you get into the mortgage real estate side of things?
So I have my undergraduate in special ed and my master's degree in clinical social work and psychology. And I graduated and I was like, oh my God, I can't make any money. Like, what's going to happen? And my mom was the loan officer. And I, coming from like, again, special ed, psychology, social work, I was like, I would never do sales. Those people are terrible, like never. And then I became a loan officer assistant, right? And I was like, okay, I can do this. And at that time, there were no women at my mortgage company, unless they were processors or assistants, no loan officers. So I started doing loan officer assistant, and we were getting all of our leads from Lending Tree. We were Lending Tree's number one person.
I know some Lending
Yes.
Tree. Yeah.
So we were number one on Lending Tree, and my job was to like get docs in, get applications in, that kind of thing for the loan officers. And I was like killing it, right? And I was like, because I obviously like to talk to people.
Okay.
No way.
And right.
It's your passion.
Yeah, you can't.
Have you
if
always
you
been
can't
that way,
tell,
though?
yes.
Just out of curiosity?
Like
Okay.
I'm the first grade student, talks too much in class.
Okay.
All 12 years,
So-
right?
so this is long term.
Yeah, long term. I came out bossy. Like that's just how I am, right? So like these loan officers were like, you should become a loan officer. And I was like, I don't know. And I did. And so I was the first chick loan officer at my company.
No
Yes.
way.
And in 2 years, I was number one in my company also.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Dude, that's so
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah. Thanks.
If you don't mind me asking, like just taking you into that mindset, like
Yeah.
you're in an environment where it's male dominated.
Oh,
You're coming in.
yeah.
You're crushing it.
Yeah.
Was there a bit of like on the other side, did they feel a certain way? And then how did you put yourself in the mindset of like, you don't care, I'm just gonna keep running?
The loan officers know. The owners of the company, who I love and adore now, they, I think, struggled.
Okay.
I think they did. Like, it was definitely a boys club mentality, but the boys club never bothered me. Actually, I tend to like hang out with men a lot more than women to begin with. Like, I'm like we talk about football, like I'm like that kind of girl. So I think that helped, and I think like I just was never thought I couldn't do something. I just never have thought that.
Did that confidence was that built over time? Was that from your family?
I think my mom was always like, you can do whatever you want to do.
What was she?
Well, she was a loan officer,
Yeah.
right? And she does it.
But like prior, I mean, growing up, the way
Yeah.
she spoke to you, like,
Yeah.
what was that conversation like?
You do whatever you want to do.
Literally, that was it.
Yeah.
Whatever you said, she said,
Whatever.
nope, no, we don't
Yeah.
care. You're not gonna make
Yeah.
excuses.
She didn't.
That's
She
really
didn't
cool.
think.
I
She
love
didn't
that.
say like bad things about me being bossy and type A. Like I was always that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like always bossy. And so she never squashed that. She always let me be who that was.
I love that.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's really fascinating. And then since then, you've just taken it into this direction.
It's never been a thought that I couldn't do something.
I have a lot of questions about a little bit childhood, if that's all right.
Okay.
We can in a bit,
Okay.
but I want to pass it your way and walk us through your journey.
From where I started?
Yes.
Well, I was a teenage mama. So I had my son when I was 16, almost 17.
Okay.
Not recommended by
Okay. All right. Fair statement. Thank you. I can't speak on it, so thank you for doing
My
it.
mom was a teenage mom, and it was different in her generation. Like you had to drop out of high school, get married, and take care of your
That was
business.
yep.
So not the same for me. I graduated early. I also want to say like all my kids made it through with no kids in their teens.
Yeah.
Her daughter's here. Okay.
Yeah.
Just you can't see her, but she's here. Yeah.
When she turned 20, she's like, "Mom, guess what today is? It's none of us had a teenage."
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
So I graduated early. I was working from the time I was 12. I grew up with a single mom. My only memories of my mom are her like reading her romance novels, smoking her cigarettes, and drinking iced tea.
Yeah.
And she worked an 8 to 5 job, and we lived very simply in an apartment. But I was like incredibly envious of all my friends that had dads and houses, and their moms didn't work or whatever. Like I had the envy, but just to be totally honest. So,
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. No. Seriously, like, it's really cool that you can say that out loud now. I don't want to get emotional. Sorry, but it's just really cool.
you make me proud too. But my mom did what she could do with what she had at the time, and like now she's retired early and managed some money in oil and the oil industry and stuff. And I'm so proud of her. But at the time, like it felt less than to me, to be honest. And so that just taught me I had to work for what I wanted. So from the beginning, I worked and I had multiple jobs. Went to college after graduating while working, and I started at a bank. And over the years, I just kind of progressed through all the departments at the bank, from being a teller to new accounts, eventually into a call center, a loans by phone call center, where we did HELOCs and auto loans and things like that. And then in the mortgage audit. And then at some point, some of us spun off and went and tried the mortgage broker thing.
Okay.
So went and did that, had a baby, had another baby with in and out over the years. And I think it was the early 2000s, late 90s. Someone took a chance on me and let me come in to be a baby branch. They called me Baby Belle because of the time I had Belle. And I got to have like a little mini franchise under this umbrella company and started my own P&L. And that's where like my real like broker journey started.
Nice.
Then 07, 08 happened.
Okay.
And everything that could happen in one's life did. Doors shut with the mortgage company I worked for. Divorce, bankruptcy,
Wow.
foreclosure.
All of
My husband at the time was tied to the housing industry, so we both just like overnight reset, went and did something different. I was going to just go do it for like 6 months, work in corporate America, telecom, wholesale telecom sales.
Oh, geez Louise.
You know what that means?
No.
Sounds
fancy.
Comcast, like wholesale telecom. I don't know. Like that's what I was thinking in my head.
Like if you have Verizon and I have AT&T, there's maybe 30 wholesale carriers in between that phone call that we make to each other in nanoseconds. And we were one of those wholesale carriers.
Oh my gosh.
That's wild.
That is wild.
Did you do it longer than 6 months?
I did it for 7 years.
Ah.
Worked for the sales operations team. We traveled, we did conferences, had so much fun, but I was missing my babies.
Yeah.
It was troubling so much. It got to the point where they're like, oh, you're leaving again? See you when we see ya. So I took a year off, completely off. I've never done that, like never not worked.
Let me find.
And then got my license and came back in 2015. The gal that I hung my license under, she went through a divorce and asked me if they wanted to buy her company. And I bought her company, and that's what I've been doing.
You were at a place, so the 7 years in telecom, you were at a place where you were able to come in and buy like something like that?
To buy her company?
Yeah.
There was nothing to buy. It wasn't like
Okay, got it.
I bought furniture.
Got it. Nope, that makes tons of sense. So here's what's the second time around, because I assume as you were going through it, right, the second time around, my guess is the thoughts of what if were back in your head. It would be a guess I have, right? I think that's very normal where you're thinking about 07, 08, you're thinking about all the stuff that happened in your life. And now you're sitting here and you're looking, you go, okay, 7 years telecom, here we go, gonna get back in. How did you get yourself over that mindset of like, okay, like this could go south again. I'm going back into commission sales. It's just me. Where did you get that courage from?
Well, to be transparent, I played small. I just kind of came in with, a toe dipped in the water. I did a couple here and there. I wasn't showing up 100%. And I wasn't sure if I had earned my place back into the industry. I don't know that there was some like clarifying moment where I just, was like, what are we doing here? Second marriage. Now I'm into my second marriage, and his company wasn't going great financially. And I just kind of went back into my mode of, I need to make sure that I'm okay.
I love that.
And nothing against my marriage. And I wasn't relying on him anyway. I've never relied on somebody else. Even the year that I took off, I had saved up to take a year off. But I just knew that it was far enough in my age journey, right? I'm not 30 something anymore.
Right.
It's time to like make sure that I have something set going forward. Just kind of buckled in.
I love that. And it's like, you're building confidence, right? And I think in this industry, one of the hardest things is to constantly keep your confidence going and constantly having to work on growing it as well, because things do evolve, things do change. Other people do enter the market, and like we're all competitive people. We all want to do great. And as much as we love the collaboration and cooperation, it's still stuff you have to constantly remind yourself of as you go through this. I am curious, like for you and for you, going through this journey, like you guys said up front, you said single lady Valve, right? How has that impacted the way that you look at your business today? Like being dialed into you, caring about just like you and being okay putting on your face mask, right? Like the oxygen mask. The amount of times where we sacrifice ourselves for the betterment of somebody else, it is detrimental for our growth. When was that timeline for the two of you where you said, okay, it's about me right now? How did you get into that mode and not feel bad about it?
I think right now.
Yeah.
I think maybe right this minute.
Our buck meter just maybe changed, and we're like,
Yeah.
We just can't, we're givers. We take care of everyone else and then forget about ourselves. And I don't know, I guess you get to a point where you have enough. But in terms of business, yeah, I want to take care of the people on my team, but I also know like I'm building a business. I can't do it at my own sacrifice.
Yeah.
No, and if you're not making like, it's crazy. I tell my team this. It's like, if you as the leader aren't taken care of,
Yeah.
you're stressed out now about everything else. So
Yeah.
then how are you going to walk into a situation and take care of the whole crew? You can't. It's impossible.
No.
What about you?
I think it's always been for me important as a single mom, and to my why has always been my son being able to do all the things. I never wanted to miss something. I did all the field trips. I did the classroom mom, the football mom, right? I was all those things.
That's really sweet,
and this
yeah.
job allows you to do that, right? So it's a stressful job, but it allows you the flexibility to be that person. And so I've always kept that top of mind. You know what I mean? And I always say like my busiest years in all the years was 2019, 2020, 2021. And like my son was in high school. So it was almost like a blessing in disguise, because I'm like, what would I do if he had been in 4th grade? Because I was working 18 hours a day and I had to. But so, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I got really lucky. Really, I got really lucky that like our busiest time, I had a high schooler, and we were in COVID, so he was home anyway for college, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I never have really struggled with like not taking care of myself. That's been something I've been able to do.
So I have a question that's like revolved really around our space. There is drama constantly in what we do, and whether good, whether bad, I don't care. With social media, things become more and more like through that process. How are you putting yourself in a position to where you're not playing victim? You're not thinking about what's being posted. You're like, okay, this is like, at the end of the day, it's on me. At the end of the day, I got to do what I have to do. How do you get through that? And were you always like that, or early in your career, did you have moments where you were just like, all right, somebody else's fault, not my fault?
Well, early in my career, we didn't have social media.
Yeah.
So it was a lot easier when we didn't. Yeah. I don't even know if MySpace was out. I don't even have any idea. So that of course makes it easy. I think Steph and I will like, so, I mean, listen, we're not perfect, right? Steph and I will call each other and be like, oh my God, did you see what this person posted? Right. And then we'll joke about it and then we'll move on.
Yeah.
I do think like, you still have to have that one person that you're like, oh my gosh, like, did somebody just say that? But
That's like the vent session.
yeah. And then like, you just move on from it. You just don't allow it to be who you are and affect you. It's, as you get older, and I do think it does come with age, you really just get to a point where you know that people's actions are their actions. It has nothing to do with you. It really doesn't. And I really do think that's age. I don't think that there's like an aha thing that you're like, oh, I think it really is just like.
All of a sudden you realize that
Yeah.
other people's shit is their
Is theirs.
thing. They may be projecting it onto you, but it's not about you.
It's never about me.
Well, that's perspective. I think life is just like all perspective.
Yeah.
I think that's really what life is like. I've learned the most from, you just go through it. You understand it. You have to learn to like deal with the stress. You have to learn to go through it. What about you? What's your take on it?
Well, I was just going to say, in terms of the victim mentality, it's probably my least favorite thing. I'm not about that. We don't have time for that. You can have 5 minutes to cry about your thing and we can cry about it together, but then you need a solution. And if you're going to post about your problem, you better like also say, I've looked at this or done that.
I love that.
Because it's just not fair to anybody else either.
So, growing up, you said 16, first child,
Yep.
right?
Babies raising babies.
Babies, raising
Yes.
babies. In terms of just like what you thought was coming next in your life and putting yourself back there a little bit, where were you mentally? Was there ever a place where you felt lost? Was there ever a place where you were like, okay, I'm going to be all right, but things are a little rocky right now?
No, I've always been a hustler. Like,
God, I
figure
love
shit out.
that. I'm calm that was, you gave me goosebumps with that answer. That's so badass.
No, like even when money was lean, and money's always been lean. I've been through so many cycles of like going into credit card debt and then paying it off and then going back in and all that. And even still sometimes, right? I figure it out. You just have to figure it out. There's no other choice.
I love that. So from your side of things, growing up, okay, You talked about the mindset, talked about your mom, talked about all of this. But for you as a human being, what were just some like key moral things that you learned growing up, things that you look back and you go, you know what, like this is who I am as a person. This is why I'm who I am as a person.
One of the things my mom always said was to do the right thing. Now, as I've gotten older and, numerous years of therapy, I'm like, well, sometimes her saying do the right thing was what she thought was the right thing, but might not have been what I did. But I think that foundation of really being that way, like just being the good person, just foundationally be a good person, treat people with kindness, and it comes back to you. I like, that's just how I live my life.
How do y'all handle conflict? So, my favorite book is The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team.
Okay.
My favorite book of all time. And in this book, it talks about how there are 5 steps to building the perfect team, but it's also like how you grow your relationships with your family. So the first layer of it is trust. So the idea is that nothing can be built without trust. So for example, every single time that you connect with a person for the first time ever, you're going into that conversation with both of you already giving a little trust to the other person.
Right.
Is that a fair statement
Yes.
to make? Okay. Now, that's the basic level, is trust. If that's cracked, you can't get to the next level. If that foundation is cracked, you don't trust me, you cannot get. The next level is conflict.
Right.
Healthy conflict. Whether it be amongst each other, whether it be amongst people you love, whether it be amongst your clients.
Right.
Right?
Right.
How do you approach conflict? And do you approach conflict differently now than when you did early in your career?
I think Steph and I approach it differently,
Oh, by
actually.
the way, how am I doing?
You're doing great.
Am I okay?
I'm like, wow, You're getting fancy.
Mom, look, thank you.
But Steph, you go first. I do think though that her and I do it differently. So you go first because I want to hear what you say.
I have 2 approaches. If there's time, I will pull back and withdraw because I need time to reflect and think of how I want to respond.
Brilliant.
If I don't have the time, then I'm kind of the like kill you with kindness because I don't want you to be mad at me. But there is a third that like steep out in me because the little like hood rat gangster in me that you push me there. Yeah.
That's that hustler.
Yes.
Yeah, that's that killer. Yep. That's that we're going to survive. Yep.
Yep.
You can't take that away. That's, and it's hard to extract. It's funny. I tell people that too. It's like, it takes a lot to get to me, but there is chaos in here. And it's like, I don't want to ever get to that chaos, but to your point, if that's the only way, then so be it. It's the only way. And early on, like when I was younger and an idiot, because that's just what, unfortunately, young 20-year-old people do.
Thought we had muffins in there. It smelled like there was still muffins in there.
Everything's burning. Yeah. But
Cut.
Yeah,
We gotta get out.
Reshoot. but no, early on, I would react right away, right? Early on. And so what I feel like now is what actually makes me unique and what actually makes everybody else unique is their impulse control. That's the hardest thing, is controlling your impulses, because of course it's easy to just react. Of course it's easy to just yell. Of course it's easy to scream. But is that going to get you to your destination while also riling you up? It doesn't make sense. So what about you, conflict?
I'm a lot bit more, not gentle. So
I know. They've both reached out. We'll tell you guys the story later.
So I tend to rip the Band-Aid off and let's just sort through it. But I don't rip the Band-Aid off and put people down and that kind of thing. But I'm very direct, but also let's come up with a solution. So, and that sometimes is not the best way to handle things, because people who are maybe a little gentler get a little bit taken back. But I also think that once you give me a minute, you realize I'm not leaving you alone. We're in it together. And so, yes, I ripped the Band-Aid off, but we're in it together. I'm walking with you in it.
Yeah, so she basically, I'll tell y'all, best way to put it, she basically called me one day and said, what are we doing? Just like that, really, I said, what do you mean? And then we start talking about AIME, and out of the woodwork, by the way. I talked to her 2 or 3 times prior. And then the other conversation was, can you tell them about our fuse story and how I walked in? So can I set the tone?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so, all right, ready? So we have a huge event we throw every year. Last year was the first one that I personally did as I took over in this new role. And so we did the event in New Orleans. And at these events, we do summits that we're making it part of is these cool summits that we do. And one of the summits that we do is a WMN summit, a women's summit, really focusing on growth, focusing on the next steps, focusing on empowerment, just a lot of really good things. Well, anyway, as we're heading down, out of my control, all right, I want to just start that.
Yeah.
A potential hurricane was on the way. Now, I will say this. People did say, well, John, you should know it's hurricane season, which, by the way, I didn't.
Who would know that?
But as I'm going down, I'm traveling, I'm driving, and it was supposed to be on that specific day we're driving in, and we're literally driving through this hurricane. So I'm thinking I'm going to walk into the lobby, and people are going to be excited to talk to me, you know? It turns out most, if not all of the women showed up early for the women's event that was supposed to be put on that we had to cancel. So I walked into the lobby, and let's just say not everybody wanted to come say hi. So I had to change my tone, and I started approaching tables instead. And I'll set the tone there, and I'll pass the two of you. All right?
Go ahead.
Well, first of all,
hold on.
we moved up our flights because we didn't want to miss any summits with the hurricane coming in. And like crazy girls that we are, we'll take you. We're like, we should go see the hurricane anyways.
Right.
Right? So everyone else was delaying flights. We were like,
We're going early. Yes.
Seat. And so then I think we saw an email or a text.
I don't remember.
Okay, you go, Kim.
No, you finish.
No, it's keep going.
Okay, so
It was an email.
He remembers.
we're sitting there in the lobby having some cocktails and hanging out because there's nothing else to do in hurricane, I guess. They shut everything down, everything's boarded up, so we're just hanging out. We see the message and we're like, a what?
Well, no, because he was canceling WMN. Yeah.
Yeah, the women's summit. Unfortunately, due to the weather, due to timing, we're gonna have to cut back. We're still having the event, but we're just gonna pull this event back. I think like within seconds, nanoseconds, like they're emailing or texting or something. Jonathon, hi.
No. Jonathon, no, please.
So I was driving and didn't see those emails, and that's when I walked in the door. So I approach your table, and we sit down and we have a really, I thought, good conversation.
Yes,
Can you just kind of walk us through a little bit of what y'all were thinking when I was coming up to your table?
Well, we were pretty
Outside of
hot.
who's
We were
this-
pretty hot, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. I had to, y'all, they were on fire, okay? I'm an energy person, all right? They were polite. Let me be clear. No one's yelling, no one's screaming. They were very polite, but I'm a person of energy. When I walked into that room, my smile turned upside down. So all I'm saying is, sometimes you have to just approach that situation head on, which I did. So
All you're saying
up.
is don't cancel the women's mortgage network
also
summit.
don't do that,
I
regardless.
think we've been set up for this conflict.
I know, right? Wait a second. Wait, I see what you did. Hold on.
Listen, it wasn't on purpose. I don't script any of it. I just start talking. Seriously, how
we
was it,
did. I
honestly?
mean, you did listen, and we were like, it's very, very important to us. And you were like, okay, all right, how are we going to make it happen? Like you did say, okay, but you came in thinking people were going to be excited, and most of the women were not.
Nope. No.
We were also like,
We were excited that you made it.
No,
We were happy you made it.
Well, and that's like the reason I'm bringing it up too is like people where they get like defensive, you know.
Yeah.
And EQ said it's not me.
No.
Right? It's not me. You understand the circumstances, but it's like your expectations weren't met.
Right.
Right at that time with what you were thinking, and it doesn't matter, right? Yes, the weather. Yes, this.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, all of that, and you both said it. Everybody said it. We get it.
Right.
It's just X, Y, or Z.
Yes,
Right? And that
right.
was a fair statement to make. So it's like for me, if I didn't at least sit down with you.
Yeah.
Because, like, I won't lie. At first, I'm just like, oh, man. Like, are
Yeah.
you joking? Do I really want to deal with this right now?
Yeah.
You know, we just drove literally through a hurricane. And I'm walking in, and I'm not kidding. I looked, and I said, what are you talking about? Like, you got to go do this. And then even sitting down, I was more relaxed.
Yeah.
Why? Like, even my tension cut.
Yeah.
And I saw other people, other women, they were watching us talk to each other,
Yeah.
if you recall. And they were much more like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
boom, what happens because of those conversations and us understanding both
Yeah,
sides.
that's
but
what
now,
happened.
now we're not running away.
No.
Either of us are.
No.
And you don't have a certain thought in your head about me.
Yep.
And now I don't have one about you either.
Yep.
So it was so cool. Like I won't
Yeah.
lie. That's why I brought
Yeah.
it up because it's cool.
Yeah.
And now look, like we talk, we text,
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah.
jump on stuff
Yeah.
together. So I wanted to bring that to light because I think it's really important to make sure we communicate
Yeah.
as a group to help.
Well, I'm laughing because you did set us up as you're talking.
I did.
Right now, because she handled it a lot different than I did. I was ready to send you a message that was not as friendly as
Oh,
Stephanie's.
really?
And then I was like, I got it.
And
Okay,
then
I didn't
she's
know
like,
that
and
part.
she's
Hold
like,
on,
hold
I didn't know
on,
that
take a
part.
second.
No.
So that's why I'm laughing
I did not
because
know
we
that.
really do.
And I'm the type that, read it, you read it, does it sound good?
And I'm like, you know? And
I love
so,
that.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
So you got
know
the
that.
best version.
I did not know that.
Yes.
That's really cool. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that with me.
Yep.
No, and that's what, I know it's funny, but it's also like, it's part of the nature of
Yeah.
building relationships when it comes to communities and like getting to know somebody
Yeah.
else. Cause like you could have taken that and run and we could have never talked again.
And we have said to you, I know both Steph and I have said from the very beginning, like the thing that we have been most impressed with you has been you don't run from it and you do sit down with us and you do listen and you got your ass handed to you when you came on board and you took it. And I mean, it kept coming and you kept taking it and you kept handling it with grace. And I think that really, really, really stood out, at least for me and everybody else I know, that really stood out, that you were like, let's just have an open conversation about things. And so,
And by the way, I'm not going anywhere.
and by the way, and like, so, it's not just you saying this, it's you actually doing it. Do you need to?
No, I got this. I appreciate that. And so here's really where I want to understand what the two.
By the
of you-
way, this looks amazing.
Am I doing all right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Very good.
Thank you. So I love to cook. My mom,
you do?
My mom taught me.
Okay.
So I cook the dinners at our house.
Oh,
all of
really?
that. Yep. So I love
That's
to cook.
cool.
But this is very new. I'm not good with like cutting stuff, so that's the hard part. I'm trying to learn.
You need a sous chef?
Yeah.
I'm a billionaire.
I love that. All right. So on this journey, I think a big part of what we do, especially being in the space, like I've been in it now for 13 years. And I think I'm starting to understand that. And part of it is the mental health aspect, and not in a way of like, this or that, but it's the commission sales, it's the constant conversations, it's the constant conflict. And then, from your side of things, especially earlier on in your careers and as you progress through it, going through it as a woman as well, where like you're embedding yourself in so many conversations early on. It's a lot more open today, I feel like, where there's many more groups, many more open things. What was that like as part of your journey going through it? And then do you have advice for other women getting into the industry and things that they could focus on or do to make sure that their voice is heard, not getting stepped aside, or if they do get stepped aside, pieces of advice on how to re-implement themselves inside?
Go ahead, you got one.
Well, I think in our early years of being in this business, being a woman in this, is like Kim said, she was the first or second hottest
First,
that was a
yeah.
female, and then being number 2 in your company against men. Like I felt like we had to be competitive against our male peers. And where it's like fully evolved to over the years is just, and we're all, I feel like, mostly on level playing field now. And I love that we're there now. There is something different, and of course I'm biased, but there's something different about being involved in the female community. And so for new ladies coming in, I tell them just that, like, get involved, don't do it alone, don't be siloed. Also, don't be competitive. Like, don't have that, I know they say imposter syndrome, but like where you're looking at someone else's social media and thinking you should be there, you should be doing that. Like, it's your own journey, it's your own time, it's your own path. Like, just do what feels right to you. And there are going to be tough days, and that's where you can lean on your community. I think, like, for myself, when I find I'm having a really bad day and kind of in a slump, I go back to, like, I have this little laminated sheet of affirmations, my business plan, and it just kind of resets me, like, to have some gratitude for where I'm at, because it could be a bazillion times worse. And I'm fortunate and lucky to be where I'm at. So calm down. It was a bad day. Tomorrow's a new day.
I love the affirmation piece. Like it's it's funny. Like I never thought that was a thing, and then now, especially since I've had kids too, like I'd read them to my kids now, and it's crazy because like I'm getting goosebumps, thinking about it, and I'm like, why? I never believed in it, and it's like, it's all internal. I can do it. I'm going to keep running forward. But sometimes just that little reset of reading something like that and having, it's your mantra. It's what you stand for. It's who you are. Gosh, like that's such a great way to keep yourself in touch with who you are as a human being.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't know if this is the right answer, but it's my answer. I think that you have to have a little level of grit, right? Like there's just some things that maybe can't be, I don't know what the right word would be, but like they can't be taught. Like you have to have some type of drive and grit inside of you, because this business, my mom would always say the business sucks the life out of you. And it does, but it equally fills your cup too, right? But also, you know, if you don't have that grit to like want to push forward, you just get sucked into it. And, you know, one thing that I left out about being the first woman loan officer.
Yes.
And then year 2 was the top producer. That year, so every year leading up to it, the owners of the company would give a 7 Series BMW to the top producer.
No.
And the year that I was it, they stopped that. The second year, my
might look it up.
assistant, yeah, my
might look up.
assistant was also a female, and she had taken over. I had a baby, and so she had taken over. So she was number 2. She was number 1 the second year after me. They didn't do it that year. The next year there was a man, and they brought it back. Now, here's the thing. Yeah.
I'm trying not to look up.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We could have let that define us, but we didn't. And in fact, both her and I say that was a real blessing in disguise for us, because we were like, F you, we're going to show you. And I do think on some level, especially for women, not just women, but especially for women, you have to kind of talk to yourself in that way. Like, F you, I will show you. And that's just what you have to do. And then you just push through. And the thing is that the owner of the company, he passed away a few years ago. And you know, like, this is going to choke me up a little bit, but
Oh God, I'll cry too. Just so you know, I cry at every one of these. So
okay. So, you know, there was obviously a little bit of animosity between me and the other girl, like where we felt a little bit slighted. Like, you do still feel a little bit slighted. And he was suffering from cancer, and right before he passed away, we knew he was. And both her and I wrote him a letter and just told him, like, no matter what, like, you taught us how to do this business, and we're very successful, and like, we're always going to honor that. And he went on and like filmed the live and was like, you two showed me how I want my girls to be as women. And so it like just made everything, like all that
okay.
nonsense,
okay.
like full circle. Do you know what I mean? Like, you didn't know any better. And then you saw these two, and then you were like, I hope my daughter turns out like that. And like, that replaces the 7 Series BMW.
Yeah,
You know what I
no,
mean?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
so my grandfather, on my mom, he passed away, and I don't want too many details, but he couldn't. There was just things that he wasn't providing growing up that he should have been doing, and there was things that he shouldn't have been doing, and there's ways that he just went about it in a way that is not what you need to be doing as a father. And I'll never forget, he ended up passing away from cancer. We all went to the hospital. Like, we went to visit him, and everyone showed up, even my grandmother, his ex-wife, my grandma. They were divorced many years back, and they were talking. Everyone was nervous about him dying, and you know, they're all like, his kids are there, my mom's there, we're there, grandkids are there. And he looks at all of us, and in Arabic, he's talking, and he says, like, stop crying for me. Like, stop crying for me. He goes, everybody dies. My mom and dad died. He goes, I just want to say thank you for forgiving me. That's what he said. He just said, thank you for forgiving me. And it was, everybody lost it. You know, everyone lost it. And like, that's all he wanted. And it was crazy to see the sense of relief. Like, everybody let it go.
Yeah.
So I appreciate y'all sharing that. Seriously, that's really cool. Thank you.
And thank you for sharing.
Whew.
I know.
All right.
geez,
Sorry, y'all. Okay. So
Anyway, back to the mental health. No.
yeah, well, it's good to share this stuff.
Yeah,
you know, like,
I
it's
agree.
stuff's deep, and it's like,
Yeah.
we want to be positive all the time, which is great. But there's parts of our lives that hurt, you know, and just talking about it sometimes is like the healing does help.
Yeah.
So hopefully, God willing, one day I could share my grandfather's story in a way that is showcasing him in a light that I saw him as a grandkid.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yikes. All right, well, good. So one of the other things that I really like to talk about is just like, you know, as we go through life, you get into certain phases where like you wanna leave a legacy, and you want people to really hear your voice. And what do I stand for? And I think about my kids now, and like, what are they gonna think of dad? You know, like, how can dad be the best version of himself? Because it's hard. For you, I want to take you back, and Steph, I'll start with you here. I want to take you back to you being your 16-year-old self, okay? But I want you to imagine that you're the person you are today. So who you are right now, and you're driving down the street and you actually see the 16-year-old version of you that's pregnant and hasn't had the baby yet, nervous, probably trying to figure it out, and you have the chance to talk to this human being and give her 2 or 3 pieces of advice about what's to come next, what would you tell her?
Buckets. That's a deep question. I would for sure tell her to not sacrifice her own happiness for everybody else for however many decades. It has to start there. It's so wonderful to like nurture and take care of everybody, but not at your own sacrifice. But also, like, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna make good decisions. You make bad decisions, but you're gonna be okay. You got this, and don't be scared. Because another little piece of my story is nobody knew I was pregnant until I was in labor.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even know that.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I'm a like, I'll take care of me. I'll handle things on my own kind of person. Started there probably, maybe a little bit before then. So it's gonna be okay. And also, like, you don't have to do it by yourself.
Ask for help.
Ask for help.
I love that. It's crazy, you know. Thank you for sharing that. Can I get a hug? Do you mind? Thank you.
Trying so hard.
You're good. I see your eyes. That's why I keep looking away. Yeah.
Because when they
Well, and then I look at this way too, and I'm like, no, I'm good here. Yeah.
floodgates start.
Yeah. Yikes. It's gonna go. And you know, especially when you're in situations where like you do feel isolated, you don't want to ask for help because you just don't know what's going to happen with the help that you might be getting or not receiving. So I do think about that a lot, especially as I've gone through my journey in life. Asking for help is not a bad thing. And it's crazy because you accomplish a lot more when you have the right people around you.
It's just like I never wanted to be a disappointment to anybody. So it's
Yeah,
in the
I
end
know
of the
that.
day, like I'm only accountable to me. Yeah. I have now entered my era of I don't care what other people think of me, which is a big, huge epiphany, life-changing thing to be in this space and be okay.
I thank you. Like, so it's really cool. One, you have to meet my mom. Okay. First and foremost, my mom, like she's in her era. So, she was married, literally right out of high school, you know, and she was good. But part of it is like, you just miss out on a couple things, right? Like you said, babies raising babies. And so now my mom's in a place to where she is constantly speaking her voice and speaking her opinion and taking care of herself and really putting herself forward. And it's cool. Like we're older now and we get to watch it. So it's like my mom is also in a position to where like she's going through a different part of life in her journey. And I'm kind of going through some of it at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm just at a different place. I didn't have to do what she had to do. So it is really, really cool to be able to go through that. Thanks for sharing that. All right, I'm gonna pass it your way. You ready? Okay. So
Cooking, I'm sorry, because I am like,
no, I'm fine.
like looking as in a 50-year-old's cook.
Yeah.
And they stand by.
He's like, I'm not sweating at all. We're like,
Oh, sorry.
50-year-old women, we sweat a little more than we used to.
No, you're good. So I'm gonna
For me.
I'm gonna set the tone.
Okay.
Which version of you, right? You go back and you're thinking about this journey of life. And you're thinking about all the little places that you're in when it comes to not getting the BMW. And you're thinking about this person that would finish number 1 and being told that no more BMWs are being given out. And you're walking out of that office probably a little irritated, probably a little pissed off. And you're about to start this great journey that's in front of you, but you have no idea. You see that human being walk out that day that she found out, I'm not going to get a car even though everybody else got one prior to me. Sitting with that person, what are 2 or 3 things you would tell her?
Be kinder to yourself, because I can say now it wasn't about me, but I couldn't say that when I was 28 years old.
Ooh, that's strong.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So I think, and I would also say, put your head down and keep going and just don't let it affect you. You be you. You be the best version of you. Because the truth is, I didn't turn up the best version of myself when that happened. And things did not play out well between us. We ended up being fine. But I think I would, from an earlier age, would have been maybe a little bit more cautious with my words as well.
Thanks for being honest.
Yeah.
That's the coolest part. Like when we do these, like the amount of honesty people have, because it's like we're healing, right? You can heal when you're honest. Or you can be honest, like really honest with yourself when you're healing and you're going through that process. So it's really cool to hear you walk us through that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. How am I doing over here?
I mean,
community
this could
tab.
be like feed an army over
It
here.
needs to go on Pinterest.
Yes,
and all the
Pinterest.
socials, Yes.
Oh, you know what? I'll call my wife, Rami. Get this on camera. Hi, dude. Where's your mom? Baby, real quick, I got to show you something. I got friends here with me. So,
Oh, there she is.
So that's my wife, Lauren. Lauren,
Hi,
this is Kim. This is Steph. You know Rami. That's my son Elias. Babe, so they had me make a breakfast charcuterie board. So I made it. I designed it. I need to show Elias, don't run with the phone.
Oh.
Give it to your mom. Give it to your mom, buddy.
That's the funniest thing.
All right, babe, look.
Oh wow, that's so pretty.
I know. Didn't he do good?
Yes.
So now when he comes home, you're gonna be like, make that charcuterie.
Get to work, honey.
All right, y'all. I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye, Baba.
Oh.
Bye. Bye, Dad. Love you. Bye.
Oh,
That
so
was cool.
sweet.
Thank you very much. Y'all, another successful episode with two wonderful, incredible human beings that have shared a lot with us today. Got a little emotional. We talked about business. We talked about being the best version of you. And we talked about something that got brought up a lot of times today. And loan officers, real estate agents, you do have to take care of yourself first. And you cannot be upset by that. You cannot let that deter you. And there's going to be situations that you're put in where it's going to suck because someone that you love or that you care for might have to suffer just a little bit. But there's nothing wrong with a little bit of suffering. It turns you into the person that you end up being later on in life, which is a special human being when you go through a little suffering. So just remember, when you take care of yourself and you truly have that oxygen mask on, you can provide and help for everybody else in your life and your family. Until next time, we're going to enjoy some of this. Take care.